Tuesday, hour 2, live in L.A. This is The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Fox Sports Radio, we're on FS1. 15 minutes, Michael Rappaport will be joining us. We've got Tony Allen, former NBA great defensive player of the year. Going to talk about the NBA, the League of Duos. Clippers won last night, by the way. Kawhi didn't play particularly well. Didn't matter, they won. I still think that's the best team in the NBA. And Joy Taylor is joining me. Joy, how are you?
I am great. Really enjoyed that game last night.
So did I. So it did create a dilemma, though. And the dilemma is, as a sportscaster, I think Joy and I both feel this. We don't want to overreact to individual wins. But there are wins. I mean, Baltimore dominating New England. You're like, all right, I see the world differently. I don't think New England's terrible, but I look at Baltimore after that game and I'm like, oh boy, that was ugly. So Seattle, San Francisco, Dallas, Minnesota, we had a lot of these big kind of transforming games. So this week's Herd Hierarchy, we thought a lot about it, and here we go. It's an interesting one.
Herd Hierarchy.
Time is now. Let's go.
The top 10 NFL teams according to Colin. Number 10.
Pittsburgh Steelers, let's just say it. They have the best offensive line in football. I don't think it's Dallas. I think it's Pittsburgh. How do you have the best red zone offense in the NFL with Mason Rudolph and backup running backs? Because you just road grade everybody. 4-game winning streak, only 11 sacks allowed. Again, Mason Rudolph is not mobile. You can't get to Mason Rudolph. 26 takeaways. Their front seven is so dynamic athletically. Between the Niners and the Steelers, there are more 24, 25-year-old guys. This is the best offensive line in football. It's Mike Tomlin's best coaching job. And listen, they're the Colts with more dynamic defensive players and offensive players. The Colts have a great O-line. We know that. This is the best offensive line in football, number 10.
Number 9.
Houston. Houston has kind of quietly become a great running team. You can't run on them. They're the opposite of Kansas City. They run it, and you can't run on them. 3rd in rush defense, 4th in rush offense. And by the way, Deshaun Watson has been dicey in September, but he's never lost a November game. They're coming off a bye. He's healthy. The offensive line is healthier. Watch out for Houston, number 9.
Number 8.
Little bit of fool's gold with Green Bay. I'll put him at 8. Do we know anything about Matt LaFleur? I didn't love their situational stuff this weekend. They've been outgained by 300 yards this year. That's with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. They've been outgained this year. They're 28th in total defense. They beat up a little bit on Kirk Cousins. They beat Dak. Aaron tends to play really good in Dallas, but I think there's a little fool's gold here. I think their defense is opportunistic. I do like the fact they have a running game for Aaron, but I don't know enough about Matt LaFleur, and I don't trust this team yet in big games.
Number 7.
The Cowboys. Now, I know, but the Cowboys... Listen, teams get better during the course of a season. Dak is clearly getting better, to me, as a quarterback. Dallas has the better offensive line than Green Bay. They're number 1 in total offense. They're number 1 in third down offense. I think they have the second best offensive line in the NFL to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dak, by the way, is on pace. Career highs in completion percentage, passing touchdowns, passing yards. They're a very good team. Are they special? No. But I think they do certain things exceptionally well, and they do more things exceptionally well than Green Bay. I know Green Bay beat them, but at this point, I trust Jason Garrett, I do, more than Matt LaFleur, so I'll put Dallas at 7.
Number 6.
Minnesota Vikings, 1 slot ahead. I think they're very close. Listen, that was their first win against the winning team on the road in 2 years. Let's not go crazy. And Kirk Cousins completed 6 passes to wide receivers. This is about defense, head coach, and a running game. Delvin Cook is remarkable. How about that one run when he bounced off a couple of Cowboy defenders? I mean, just pinballed it. This is a team that has an identity. I wish their identity was like their quarterback, but it's their coach, their running game, and their defense. They just beat Dallas on the road. That's a rarity. They don't do that much. But I think Minnesota's a slot ahead of Dallas at number 6.
Number 5.
New England. I think they still need another offensive piece. I think they have good backs. Mohamed Sanu is clearly their number 2 after Julian Edelman. They have the most takeaways in the NFL. Some of that is they played crappy quarterbacks. They have the best head coach and the best clutch quarterback, and they'll probably play a playoff game in Foxborough. But their offensive personnel, I got to be honest with you. I said this last year, and they won the Super Bowl. Gronk ended up being so big for them against Kansas City and so big for them against the Rams. Their last year's offense, without Josh Gordon's speed and without Gronk, they need another piece offensively.
Number 4.
Seattle. I think it matters. I think you have to holistically look at Seattle. They didn't have Jadeveon Clowney when the season started. They did not have Josh Gordon, who had 2 big catches last night. I think they're coming together, and I think Josh is a special player. He was big last night in a couple of big third down, and I think Clowney was absurd. By the way, you think of Seattle, and you think, they have all these disparate parts offensively. They're 5th in total offense, and they faced a real schedule here. They faced San Francisco. They faced Baltimore. They faced a real schedule here. Russell Wilson leads the NFL in passing touchdowns, passer rating, and I think Clowney, Josh Gordon are really nice pieces.
Number 3.
The Saints got blown out. Don't worry about it. There is a big concern with the Saints. They don't have a vertical passing threat. One of the things I look at is how many 20-plus yard plays do you have? I mean, you can't go on 13-play drives and win a Super Bowl. You have to be able to go over the top. They're like 25th in the NFL. They just don't beat you over the top. That's why Teddy Bridgewater was a perfect Drew Brees prototype. Smart, coachable, get the ball out, complete it. They don't turn the ball over. They only have, which is just crazy. They have 6 turnovers all year. That's crazy. They have a very good offensive line. They play real defense. They got a pass rush. So they have a lot of elements I like. Quarterback, coach, defense, but they do not get any freebies offensively. I mean, Ted Ginn's their number 2 receiver. He's more of a returner than a receiver in his best days. So that's the concern.
Number 2.
San Francisco. Again, I know Seattle beat them. They didn't have George Kittle. When a young quarterback doesn't have a Pro Bowl tight end or Emmanuel Sanders, that would be like taking Lamar Jackson and saying, all right, you don't get your best tight end and you don't get Mark Ingram. Like young quarterbacks need their best weapon. San Francisco's got a lot of talent at wide receiver, but their best veteran receiver really didn't play much, and their world-class tight end didn't play. And I thought it was Garoppolo was throwing the guys that he would prefer not to throw to, who mostly couldn't catch last night. It's not an excuse. It's a reality. Let's be honest about him. Red zone defense, passing defense, sacks, 1-1, 2-2, they're great.
Number 1.
I'm going to go to Baltimore. I thought a lot about this morning. They dominated New England, and they dominated Seattle. I watched both those games. They didn't just win. They dominated both those teams. They dominate Pete Carroll and Belichick. All right, that's good enough for me. The other thing to remember is they had a really ugly loss against Cleveland. Okay, since then, teams get better as the season goes on. Since then, they're a top 6 defense. Listen, it happens. I mean, it just happens. You have bad Sundays. You're missing a left tackle. You're missing a right guard. You got Baltimore. If you take out the Cleveland game, I got too many good wins. By the way, they're 13-3 in their last 16 games. They have something that I think is incredibly important, an identity. And I think Marcus Peters has also solved their big issue. Early in the year, we said the same thing. They need a corner. They went and got one. Baltimore is number 1. By the way, let me go off on a little tangent here, if I may. I try not to spend too much time on Twitter. I find it negative. A lot of losers talking about winners. You rip the pro athlete from a basement. So I'm not really into it. But I do think for my business and Joy's business, I'm not going to speak for Joy, is that I put stuff out there because it's social media. And I want my stuff out there like everybody else, even though I think the place can be absurd. I always laugh at this. NFL's got too many penalties. It is unwatchable. Well, how do you know that? Dope, you're watching it. Yeah, when you send the tweet the NFL's unwatchable because there's too many penalties, you're watching that thing you're calling unwatchable. The last 5 football games I have watched beginning to end, and I mean didn't miss a play. Chargers, Oakland, 26-24, absurd. LSU, Bama, 46-41, absurd. Jets, Giants, bad teams, incredibly entertaining mess, 34-27. Minnesota Cowboys came down to the last minute, and last night. That's the last 5 games I've chosen as a consumer to watch. 4 NFL, 1 college. Couldn't turn the TV off. Yeah, there's too many penalties. I wish they would stop with the penalties. Listen, we got an NBA load management. We got baseball with no more base runners. Hockey doesn't score enough goals for me, although I do find it fun to go to the games. College football's got blowouts every weekend. Folks, the NFL is great. And all this quarterback play, all these new quarterbacks running around, it's spectacular. I have chosen the quality of athleticism, the quality of quarterbacks, the quality. Do you realize in the NFL this weekend, 11 of 13 games, 11 of 13 were one possession. Here's the two that weren't. Lamar Jackson, play of the year against Cincinnati. Lamar Jackson was absurd. You had to watch for Lamar. And New Orleans, and we can't figure out how it happened, was destroyed by Atlanta. So the two games that weren't close, you had the play of the year, one of the quarterback performances of the year, and Atlanta crushed New Orleans, and nobody can figure out how. Stop complaining. I mean, yes, there's too many flags. NFL tends to, we've noticed this throughout the NFL. They're a very fluid league. They're always willing to change. And they will, over the course of a season, they'll figure out the flag issue, just like they figured out the catch issue. But the quality of football right now in America, out of this world. And the boring pocket quarterbacks, exit stage right. And all the athlete quarterbacks, Darnold and Wentz and Mahomes and Lamar and Kyler, here they come. Next year, by the way, we're adding Tua, who may be better than Kyler and Lamar. And then after that, it's Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. And they may be better than Tua and Kyler and Lamar. So the sport's in great hands, college and pro. Michael Rappaport is around the corner. What's new? The New York Knicks are an embarrassment to mankind. Say hello to Casper, the most trusted and beloved sleep company in America. Happened fast, too. Like 5 years ago. Who knew who Casper was? They're transforming the way we sleep. Bedding, bed frames, duvets, pillows. And by the way, it comes with a 100-night risk-free trial. They ship it to you for free. Sleep on it for over 3 months. Don't like it, they ship it out. Free returns, goes to a charity. What other business offers that? Okay? They have 4 layers of premium foam. For back alignment, which for me is kind of an issue, trademarked zone support, 50,000 5-star reviews. Get the mattress of your dreams today. Casper.com, the code is HEARD. And if you put the code in, you get $100 toward the purchase of select mattresses. Terms and conditions apply. Go to Casper.com/terms. Comfortable, another great night's sleep. Got 6 of them in my house. Casper.com, code HEARD.